Hey, it's L.A. Lloyd, and today it's a big milestone for me. First of all, 2026, I'm celebrating the 26th anniversary of the Rock 30 on July 4th. A man who's been with me literally every year along the way, Jacoby
Yeah.
Shaddix. He's here today for his 20th appearance, dude. It's unbelievable. Glad to have you back on the show.
Yeah. Good to see you and good to be back on the show, man. It's good to see your face.
Well, I tell you, man, last year when we met up in March in San Antonio there at Frostbank Center, you guys just killed it that night. And for me, it really kind of came full circle of the first time I ever listened to Infest, in its entirety, man.
Yeah.
And when you throw that record on now, man, what do you hear? Do you hear like a young kid screaming, just, the world is my oyster, or, the beginning of a guy who was kind of grounded and said, you know what, whatever it takes, I'm going to outlast the chaos?
I think when I reflect back on that record, I'm really proud of what we did on that album, what we created as a band, because we didn't sound like any of the other new metal bands. We had this kind of rock element to us and this punk energy to us mixed with rap and metal. And, we were just coming with something that was original and uniquely us. And lyrically, I was tackling a lot of different subjects on that record. And I feel that it really set a tone and set the stage for where we were going to go with our music. And I just, as we went and toured last year and played a bunch of music off that one, it was just, I realized like how impactful that record was, not only on my life, but people's lives, and just kind of how fun they are to play live. There's an energy to those songs that's just raw and simple and in your face. And it's one of those albums that I continually look back to try to look for inspiration, because I think that we were just at that point in our career kind of like untainted by success and untainted by the world. And there's this honesty and purity about that I really admire about what we were, that moment that we were in.
Yeah. And, Leave a Light On, man, that song just touched so many people's lives, and it's just such a great emotion from that. And when you hit great milestones with songs like that, or maybe at awards, or as you mentioned, the sold out tours, does it feel like you beat the odds, or does it hit different now?
Oh, it definitely feels like we beat the odds. They're stacked up against you in this music business. It is not an easy feat to do what we're doing. And same for the Deftones, right? Same for Korn. To be able to survive the ages, this is a tough life. And not only is it physically tough, it's spiritually tough. It's tough on the family. It's tough on your body. And to continually be successful in one way or another, it's like you got to have some grit to be able to get through those dark ages. And we've been through some rugged times, brother.
Yeah.
But I'm just super grateful to be landing where we are at this point in time. And it came with a lot of sacrifice and a lot of believing in yourself when other people around you did not believe.
Right.
It's been a slugfest for us. And so to be where we're at, I'm just like, feels so good.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show today, seeing you in 2025, Rise of the Roach, I mean, you sold out Europe, the U.S., you ended it there, like you said, in Canada. I've seen you so many times, I lost count, man. But, 12 months of your life was go every night, it seemed like, man. How do you sum up last year for you personally?
I would say gratification. I was grateful for that moment and felt whole. I felt like this was the thing that we had envisioned from a young age, and to be able to like live it out and experience it, it just puts me in like a place of thank God we hung on when the times were tough. Thank God we just kept pressing forward when they told us to turn the guitars off in our band. Thank God we turned them up. Thank God we stuck to our guns. Thank God we took chances. Thank God we had failures. All these moments that we just kept pressing forward through the adversity, and we had a breakthrough like we did in 2025 was just, man, it just inspires me for the next 10 to 15 years of what we can do as a band. Dreams of playing a stadium aren't dead.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Those are real. I was talking with Dan from Disturbed, and we were just like, dude, can you imagine because we were talking about Metallica and what they're doing in their career. I'm like, our bands can do this one day.
Right.
Like,
Right.
don't think that we can't be these bands that do this one day.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like, I have hopes of that, you know, someday being able to do that with our band, and sky's the limit. You know, I just got to stay out of my own way,
Right.
and not destroy this thing and take care of myself in the process.
You know, you mentioned Korn and Deftones, obviously bands you looked up to. Now you've kind of taken over that role as influencer to a lot of other up-and-coming bands. And I see it all the time. I mean, you might see somebody rapping one of your songs on TikTok, and you'll bring them in and record with them, man. I mean, that's what I love about you, man. You always keep your eyes and your ears open for what's still to come, because this thing is a continuous cycle with rock and roll, man. And so how does it feel being that guy now?
Oh, it's cool, man. I mean, I've been able to like mentor some young artists in real and meaningful ways, because I understand the slings and arrows and the trenches of this business, and how to get through and how to be graceful in it. Cause I don't know Hunter S. Thompson's quote about the music business, but it's pretty much like, you know, it's just a death trap. And that's just like the good part of it.
Right.
And I've been able to like navigate through it with I've got a good reputation. I've got respect from my peers. And yeah, man, I know I'm not like the cool new shiny toy thing on the block, but I have weathered the rock and roll storm and been able to build something that is real, that is lasting. And so to be able to like be a mentor to some young artists and be able to share my wisdom and my strength and my hope with others, oh, it's dope. I love it, man.
Well, nothing made me more happier than just to keep seeing these number ones stack up from Ego Trip on the Rock 30, man. And, you know, I got to think even at this point, man, you know, seeing those number ones come one after the other, it still got to mess with your head a little bit. But does it keep you humble, or, you know, right back to kind of what we were talking to, a little bit of proof of confidence that, you know, you're still writing the music that's relevant to what people are relating to in the current situation?
Yeah, man, I'm just stoked that that we're hitting the mark lately. It's rewarding to have those moments. And it's not always about the number one. It's about, you know, because we've had number one songs that, yeah, they were number ones, but they didn't feel like a movement, like it moved people in a meaningful way.
Right.
Versus a song like Kill the Noise, that moved the needle for our band creatively and stylistically into a new space. Even if it kills me, it spent like over 10 weeks at number one in Canada.
Wow.
You know, and that was huge for us. And it like kicked open a door to where it put us back into headlining arenas in Canada. And those are the moments that they don't only move the needle at radio, they move the needle in rock culture. Leave a Light On was another one of those moments for us as a band that it was bigger than just a song. There was a purpose behind it. There was a movement. There was a philanthropic edge that helped people. It wasn't just a song that you heard on the radio.
Right.
Those are the moments that I'm looking for, that I want to create. And it feels like with Wake Up Calling, our new song, there's something special about this one, that it's just the reactions that we're getting. It's just another one of those special P. Roach songs. And I'm stoked, man. It is pretty wild to still be making a mark in this music.
When we were together last March, you kind of talked about something that you got to be able to have this willingness to fail, even on a world stage, because you are global. Yeah. When you have failed at times, what does it take to get back up, man? Because like you said, you've been knocked down a lot, as I've seen and you've mentioned, and but somehow you come back swinging, dude. So what's the secret?
I got grit, brother. I just got some grit in me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just can't see my life any other way, honestly. And, you know, I was a janitor in a hospital, stripping and waxing floors before I was stepping on stages and rocking the masses, right? And so I don't want to go back to that. I could. I was great at it, you know, but that's not my highest calling. You know, this music and connecting with people through music and sharing my experience and my strength and my hope in music. That's when I'm firing on all cylinders. And so I want to live my purpose, and I'm just eternally grateful that I'm able to continue to do that.
For sure. And you've had a lot more wins, you know, than fails, I would say. And when you do walk off the stage at night, man, I mean, what is that feeling? Is it, especially now that you're older, is it just still a feeling of pride, or do you sometimes go like, man, my body, how much longer can I keep going like this and feeling exhausted?
I think the fans give us the energy.
Right.
They are the lifeblood of who we are and what we do. Because if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I'd have the strength to continue on and do this. And it does have a big wear and tear on my body. My back is it's busted up pretty good. My neck, my vocal cords, I have to be really mindful. I've been working with a vocal coach again. I started 2 weeks ago strengthening for my upcoming tour in March and April in Southeast Asia. And yeah, man, I got to be really like disciplined about those things now because it's a marathon. You know what I mean? And as we step into the headliner space, you're playing a longer show. It's more wear and tear on the vocal cords. How am I to be disciplined in this life to be able to carry on for another 15 to 20 years? I got to mind my P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? I got to take care of this body, dude.
Well, I tell you, that music you put out obviously has been relatable to so many fans, thousands throughout the years. And I'm sure you've heard it time and time again, is like how your music kept him here and kept him from doing something terrible to himself. I know that's got to lift you up, or maybe does it ever kind of hit home and remind you of, the times that you were right there on the edge yourself?
Yeah, man, there's a weightiness to that. There's a big responsibility in that. And I never knew that that's what this was going to be. And my vulnerability of sharing my weakness and my scars and my brokenness, the story of being able to find strength in the darkest moments of my life, that story, and knowing that that story is inspiring to other people, it's purpose-driven music. This isn't just a song. It's not about me getting on stage and you cheering for us, Papa Roach. It's about what we're doing together. And I think in a world that feels really dark at moments, if we can punch through that darkness with some hope and some light through music, that's just where it's at. My spiritual life has been a big part of me being open and vulnerable about my brokenness and my strength and enduring in those hard times. I'm so grateful that it's not lost on deaf ears.
Right.
I'm just so grateful that people are hearing that and reflecting on their own lives and maybe seeing that they don't have to listen to that dark whisper, that negative self-talk, that thing that the world's saying to them. Music helps me block that and drown that noise out. Fear, right? Fear is it's such a bitch, man. It can cripple us. It can paralyze us into not achieving who we truly are. And I want to break through that fear, and music gives me that strength. My spiritual life, my relationship with Christ gives me that strength to break through that fear. I want to continue to share that strength and that hope.
Well, I think some of the biggest fear, especially for entertainers, is to talk about their faith and Christ and their spirituality. And when we lost, Brad Arnold, man, from Three Doors Down.
Yeah, man.
He's always been an inspiration to me. I knew him as long as I've known you, and he always put it out there every night with a big smile on his face, man. And I'm glad to see that you've got the strength, and you're letting it come out in the interviews now, man. And for me as a Christian myself, I appreciate you doing it, man.
I absolutely have to share it, because if I just keep it quiet, then I'm not living the purpose of it. There's a darkness over this world, and people are in the throes of it. And I see it. I've felt it. I've experienced it in my own life. I've been coerced by the darkness to think that I am worth nothing, that this life isn't worth living. I've been in that space. I will be damned if I'm a slave to that anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I will cut through it with my spiritual life. I will cut through it with my relationship with Christ and continue to chase after that greater version of myself, that God intended version of myself. It might not be the most popular, cool thing in the world to love Jesus, but I ain't here to serve the world. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I did that, right? I tried to serve the world for so long, and I just felt it. It was like an empty pit of darkness, and it just led me to this self-pity. And yeah, man, it ain't for me no more. You know what I mean? And I definitely will continue to share it, my experience, my strength, and my hope in Christ. And I just, it's given me hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it. And I'll bet on that. And if I'm wrong, so be it.
Indeed, man. Well, I got to tell you, the faith, the spirituality, and wake up calling, I feel like has a combination of all this. I mean, faith, fans, the music, your family. This song just kind of hits different for me, man.
Yeah, man. That's exactly what it is. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It is all those things. And I've been kind of the orchestrator in my life of just my own demise. And I have to get out of the way of myself. And I've had amazing people in my life, one being my wife, Kelly. She will just check me. She knows the real me, the everything about me, the darkness in me, the struggles in me. And she loves me through that. Like, she just loves me through all my brokenness and all my scars and she is what my wake up calling, right?
Right.
My band, those brothers in this band that have loved me through my crazy and seen the good in me when I couldn't see the good in myself. They are my wake up calling. The fans that see this light pouring out of me, they remind me that I am worth it. My relationship with Christ strengthens me. It sharpens me. My relationship with my brothers in Christ strengthen me and sharpen me. And so if I can tell that story in these different realms and these different relationships through music, let's go.
Yeah.
I got to keep shouting it from the rooftops and be bold enough and brave enough to like take the slings and arrows from the world and take the slings and arrows from other Christians that think that I'm not Christian enough. You know,
Right.
it's a personal growth and a personal, it's a personal path.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that I just want to keep reflecting hope and a light in the dark.
Well, we have had the chance to definitely reflect the past 25 years. And, you know, from the music industry standpoint, I mean, look, Papa Roach has gone through CDs, Napster, streaming, TikTok. What moment during all this time where you went like, oh, okay, the game really just changed right now? Was there one particular time that it really went like, we got to adapt or we're out of here?
I think when CD sales went away, that was a really like bleak moment for the music business.
Right.
And that was like seeing a lot of the record companies just fall apart and crumble and bands getting dropped. And I'm like, oh, what's happening? And the thing that like gave me hope in that was my band and my brothers in this music and the creation process. And then stepping on that stage and playing in front of fans. And yeah, it was almost like the dark ages of Papa Roach because, when we were out on tour, some nights we were playing in front of just like 500, 800 people. That was after selling millions of records worldwide. Right. And we leaned into the music and we leaned into the people that believed in us and we just kept pressing on, and I think now at this point, we're at another kind of strange time in music where this AI element is coming through and, it can be frightening, I think, for a lot of people, for a lot of young artists, maybe. But then there's this hopeful element in it that I feel. I had Will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas was trying to explain it. And I think he kind of hit the nail on the head in a way of like, there's like when you go to the grocery store, you can get the organic or you can get the GMO.
Right.
What do you want? Right. So if you want music, do you want fake music or do you want the music that's coming from a human being?
There you go.
You know what I mean? And we have a choice. AI is really essentially like studying us. It's a study of us.
Right.
And how does it regurgitate us back at us in a generic way? And that's where it's at right now. And it will be interesting to see how this plays out. But I love the pushback from rock culture against it. I think that a lot of people in rock culture can smell it. They can hear it in the song. They can see it in the art. And they're like, that ain't it. And I love collaborating with people. I love the humanness of it. I love the push and pull in the relationship of creating with another person and having to have a conversation in a room, creating a song. And sometimes my idea isn't the best idea in the room and it gets shot down. And then sometimes my idea is the idea that sticks. Whereas this other one is, I have a prompt, let me press a button. It's just lazy, man. I think the people in the rock culture and in the rock space, we could smell it a mile away. There's room for the human in that.
Well, I just went to see Baz Luhrmann's Elvis Presley's Epic on IMAX, and this is 50 years ago, and just watching his band and him just sitting in a rehearsal room. I mean, there's no backing tracks, there's no special effects on the mic. It's just dudes sitting there and just creating art, man. And I think at the end of the day, AI will never ever touch anything like that.
Same, dude. I feel the same exact way. It's prompted us when we go into the studio to kind of dial back some of the tech and the overproduction of things. Wake Up Calling being one of those. It's like there's no samples on the drums in that song. It's just raw drums. It's just a recording of a drummer playing drums. And I think that element is coming back into the play. And I think that we've been able to, technology has been a fun thing for us to experiment with, but it's like, I feel like it's gotten us to a point where it's like things started to feel a bit more homogenized.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, cool. How do we make this thing sound original, fun, and off the chain again? And so I love this experiment that we have in art and music, and it's a continual, like I said, experiment, and we just wanted to be authentic and real and believable. And I think that we're hitting that mark right now.
Well, that kind of leads me to my final question. And this deals with Papa Roach as a group overall, the brotherhood that you guys have created over the years. Is there an unwritten rule outside the band that no one knows about that just kind of kept, you guys strong and never wavers from what the original thought was when you first got in this to have a career?
I think it's the love that we have for each other, the respect we have for each other. I think that those two things really are the magic to what we do, to allow each other to fail and succeed together, to allow our voices to be heard in the band, and also don't be afraid to stand your ground creatively and say, this is what I'm standing on, this is what I believe in, this is what we're supposed to do. Compromise is another big part of this thing. And I mean that in a way of not compromising your beliefs, but compromising with each other.
Right.
If you're going to have a creative group, not everybody's going to always have their idea win. And I think being able to be humble enough to know that when to press in and when to go, okay, cool, I feel what you're saying.
Right.
I can back that. It's a brotherhood. And really, I think the true magic of it is we've suffered together. We've suffered through being broke together. We've suffered through being shunned as a band. And I think that those moments and us hunkering down together and linking arms and going, we got this. They just don't know yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. Because when you get to the points of success, you can handle those moments gracefully. We weren't always graceful in our successes. Sometimes we were way too cocky and way too over the top. But I think that was just because we were young and dumb.
Yeah. Well, dude, big year for you, 2026. I don't know if you can top 2025. Well, yeah, you can. You can. I know you will.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I just one day at a time. That's how we're doing it, brother.
Well, have a great one, man. And appreciate you being on the Rock 30 for your 20th time, man.
I always love rapping with you, Lloyd. I really do, man. I know. I promise you, we're gonna get you a plaque, dude. This cannot stand. I can't have this anymore, brother.
All right, my man. Take care, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
You too, man. God bless.